what went on. So there was a phone number that the police were investigating in a tri-state crime ring, and basically how they connected
It look
that
AI.
number to me, or which they didn't really connect the number to me because I didn't plead guilty to the number. I wound up getting into a fight with somebody, and when I got into the fight with him, he wound up calling the police, and when he called the police, he gave them the number. The number's already investigation. We got the name. Okay, boom, conspiracy. 2-3 days later, wound up getting a letter in the mail saying that I have warrants out for my arrest. I need to find an attorney and this, that, and the third. So at the time, I'm thinking it's a money grab. I'm thinking it's a scam. I'm thinking it's bullshit. I wound up going out that same day, hopped in the GLC 43 AMG, drove around. It was a nice day, had all the windows down, going down Steinway. Next thing you know it, I see the D's coming my way, and something told me to put the windows up, but I didn't wind up putting the windows up. And as they drove past me, they wound up breaking their neck, busting a U-turn. I'm sitting there in the driver's seat, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they pulling me over? It's not the tints because the windows are down. It's not speeding because I'm not speeding. I didn't do nothing. Whatever the case is, I wound up pulling over. Let me see what they're on. I'm sitting there 5 minutes. Next thing you know it, boom, 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 boom. I'm boxed in by like 6 cop cars. So to de-escalate the situation, I took the keys, put it on the roof, turned the car off, got out the car, and as I got out the car, they wanted to grab me and throw me up against the car. So once they threw me up against the car, I'm like, my name's Antonio, and before I can even get my last name, they're like, we know who you are. They wound up taking me, putting me in the back of the cop car, where they put me to the 114 precinct, where they did my booking process. As I'm in the precinct, and as right before I'm about to go to Rikers Island for intake, they're basically, oh, you have a Grammy, da-da-da-da, or you're famous, whatever the case is. And at the time, I'm just letting them chat, I'm letting them run their mouth. Of course, if you guys know, get a lawyer. I got into the van, went to Rikers Island, where I sat in intake for 14 days. When I was sitting in intake, it was cool, nothing too crazy. At the end of the day, guys, if you're in jail, there should be no problem with you being there as long as you don't bang, you don't do no bullshit, and that's pretty much it. There should be no reason for you guys not to chill out in jail, and there should be no reason for anybody to come up and try to do some bullshit to you. I sat there for another 30 days after the 14 days of being in intake, where I was on hold for Jersey to come pick me up, and that's why I didn't bail out. So I didn't bail out in New York because I was on hold. They did not give me a bail number. I got to Jersey, and basically how Jersey works is they don't have a bail. They have a bail reform. They have a point level of being 1 the lowest and 5 being the highest. So when I got to Essex County, which was the first county I was in, and I sat there for 20 days, they winded up releasing me. After they released me, I got to Hudson County, where they winded up releasing me. And then Hudson County, I went to Bergen County. And as I was in Bergen County, I'm thinking everything is good. Got released from Rikers, Hudson, Exis. There should be nothing wrong. 3, 4, 5 people go in front of me. Release, release, release. I get there. The prosecutor's on timing. He basically coming like, Antonio Ginestra is going to be doing 10 years. He did multiple crime rings. He's a menace to society and all this other things. After him going back and forth with my attorney winded up losing, and I wound up having to sit in Bergen County. As I'm sitting in Bergen County, I sat there for 3.5 months, 4 months, where I didn't get indicted. I wound up waiving my right to get indicted and taking a plea deal because there was 50 charges just alone in the state of Jersey, ranging from burglarizing commercial businesses for ATMs and pharmacies, and then of course the squeeze Benz allegations, and then there was a handbag, $40,000, $50,000 handbags worth stolen, a whole list of things. And at the end of the day, only evidence that they had was this phone number. The evidence of how they got the phone number is that there was these 3 cell phone numbers pinging off all the towers in Jersey, and not only Jersey, but Connecticut and New York. So once they seen all these crimes happening, they went to the cell towers and seen these 3 numbers are the most common. They wound up taking the numbers, and 2 of the numbers were registered to my codeines, which this is why I have employed juvenile, because at the time they were 17 and I was 18, and the 3rd number was registered to nobody. It was under, I guess, like a bullshit name. And the only way that they were trying to say that it was my number was because the person said that it was mine. At the end of the day, if I went to trial, and which I was going to go to trial, I would have beat it like that. Since it being 18 different cases with 3 charges on each case, I would have wound up sitting in the county for 3-4 years fighting all the cases. Mind you, if I wound up losing, it would have been minimum 5-year sentence. So in my head, it's like, okay, bet. They're offering me a 5-year deal. Got to do 12 months, 6 more months at the time. I wound up doing a little bit over. I did 10 months. I took my deal, got sentenced. After you get sentenced, they take you to prison. I got on the bus where they drove us an hour and a half away. Went to Jersey, it's called Yarsville Prison. I guess like you guys all hear stories. Is prison crazy? What goes on down there? And yes, it does. I was there the first 2 months, chill, easy. You know what I mean? Nobody knows me. I don't really know nobody. I'm not really open my mouth. I've got really nothing to say to any of these guys. Whatever the case is, 3-4 months go by, I got some motion on becoming a tier worker, and once you become a tier worker, you're out all day, and then that's when you really start to see what goes on. Yes, I've seen people get stabbed, I've seen people get jumped on the face, blood bleeding everywhere. Honestly, I've seen crazy. How people say it is what it is. Another 3 months went by, I wanted to become a carpenter worker. We were building chairs and stuff like that. Another month went by and I wound up getting released. And basically how parole works and the parole that I had, it's called administrative parole. As long as you don't get into no fights, as long as you don't get caught fighting anybody, you should be released. It goes the same for drug charges, anything like that. When I tell you guys, half the tier were zombies, I'd walk up and down the tier chilling, that sweeping, whatever the case may be, and you see these kids, mind you, they're not even old. Where Yardsville is 25 and under. They're 19, 20 years old, drugged out, literally zombies on the door, sleeping, crazy. How real it is. On another house, somebody wound up dying due to overdose, and then on another house, I think someone died for getting stabbed or something like that. So yeah, it was a little crazy, but you know, like I said, as long as you don't bang, as long as you stay out the way and don't do no drugs, there should be no problem. Once I got released, I went to Connecticut where they gave me $1 million bail. I had the bros pull up. They came with the cash, 100,000 because 10%. Bail bondsman come, bailed out, and that's when you guys seen the video that I was there. I hopped in the Urus. It felt amazing getting back in the car, being able to just take off. We had the Wraith, we had the Cullinan, we had the Urus, G80, we had a G82, we had an M8, just the whole lineup outside, and just to be back in there and then going to pick up my chain on top of that, $100,000 chain, shout out to Charles, good looks, and then going to get some real food. That's some that I forgot to tell you guys too. The food in jail is horrible. My boy worked in the kitchen. Basically how the kitchen works is you start off as a pot cleaner, and he got the pot, and the ITI, basically the workers from outside, told him to clean it. As he goes to clean the pot, he's looking at the pot, and he's telling me, he said he sees something moving, and he says there was maggots on the bowls. After he told me that, I told him that I was Jewish, and they give you kosher food. It's way better food. But getting back into, after I left, it was amazing to actually digest something that is actually
Like I said, I'm
digestible.
Jewish, bro, so you get better food. What the
What was going on
fuck?
in jail, a little bit about
Damn.
myself. I guess I'll get into everything that you guys been waiting for, the actual Squeeze Benz allegations. So everybody's saying that, oh, Squeeze Benz got caught. Squeeze Benz never got caught. They tried charge me with the Squeeze Benz allegations just in Newark, and basically the evidence that they had on that was somebody that was going to testify against me saying that I was Squeeze Benz. But it wound up falling through on their end, and they had to dismiss the charges because they did not only have him. On top of that, to charge anybody with reckless driving, they need to have their face in that car at that time doing that crime, which in that case, they did not. Why are all the accounts changed to official Mr. Squeeze and not Squeeze Benz no more? So I wanted to purchasing the account, and there was a lot of logistics behind it, lawyers, contract people advising it. We wanted up coming to a deal.
This
I made an
nigga
offer,
lying like a
the accounts are
motherfucker.
all officially mine. And when I purchased the accounts, one of the first things I thought of was rebranding. By doing this, we're able to show face, have sponsors, and be able to collaborate with multiple other people and shops. That's pretty much what's going on with that. Some of the people that I met while being incarcerated, Sleepy Hollow, I didn't know it was you, bro, at the time, but the next day somebody told me this is like 60-day celebrity edition, and that's where they told me like, oh, Squeeze Benz and Sleepy Hollow. And I was like, that was Sleepy Hollow, and I wound up telling my girl to search it up, and that's when I actually wound up finding out that was dead. Sleepy Hollow. I met Fabio right before I went to prison. I didn't meet K-Flock, but I saw K-Flock in Essex County. I'm gonna answer some of the questions that you guys DM'd me to answer.
K-Flock?
So some of them you guys said were, what was my first car? My first car that I still do own is a 1996 3 Series. It has a LEY body kit on it, TE37s. It's completely gutted, got a roll cage. The car is pretty much almost done, big brake Brimo kit. Still more things that needs to be done, like body work and actual engine. So all you guys